And I was watching him very closely. I saw like his hand shaking a bit.
He looked broken, hand trembling, eyes glazed, and for the first time, silence. Diddy, the once untouchable king of bad boy, was seen shaking in court moments after his own son dropped what many are calling the ultimate betrayal. Some say it was a panic attack. Others claim it was a heart attack brought on by stress. But one thing is clear. The Combs family isn't just falling apart in public. They're imploding from the inside. This is the dark unraveling of Christian King Combs and how his own scandal may destroy what's left of Diddy's legacy. Let's get into it.
What's up, y'all? It's King Combs, and right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram.
On May 12, 2025, Diddy's federal trial began in Manhattan, and in a calculated display of support, his children, Christian, Justin, Quincy, and the twins showed up, all smiles and silence. It was a picture-perfect scene, a united front. But behind the courtroom doors, the cracks were already forming. Because just weeks earlier, Christian Combs was hit with a bombshell lawsuit that could expose far more than his own actions. It could unravel the very defense his father's legal team is clinging to. In April 2024, Grace Omar, a former yacht stewardess,
now a son of embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, has been accused of assault. A lawsuit filed in LA Superior Court on Thursday accuses Christian King Combs
filed a lawsuit alleging that Christian assaulted her during a 2022 trip aboard a luxury yacht. The yacht, chartered by none other than Diddy himself. Omar claims what started as a high-profile family excursion quickly turned into a party drenched in alcohol, chaos, and something far darker. She says Christian pressured her into taking a shot she believes was spiked. Then, according to the lawsuit, he grew aggressive, bruises, audio evidence, and a transcript CNN verified, where she's heard rejecting his advances and asking if he was trying to her. But it didn't stop there. In a bizarre twist, Omar's team alleges that Christian was in the studio just before the incident,
sexually assaulting and possibly drugging a woman in December 2022. The woman says it happened while she was working on a yacht that Diddy had chartered.
Freestyling over Cassie's Me and You beat. Let that sink in. The same Cassie Ventura who's testifying against Diddy for years of abuse. And here's Diddy's son allegedly rapping over her music, just moments before an assault. The symbolism? Unavoidable. It reeks of entitlement, disregard, and a twisted cycle of disrespect passed down from father to son. You'd think with his father on trial for racketeering and trafficking, Christian might lay low, not even close. While Diddy sat in a courtroom facing life in prison, Christian was posting bottle-popping videos on Instagram with his girlfriend, living it up like nothing was happening, and he wasn't alone. His brothers, Justin and Quincy, were spotted out partying too, right alongside Young Miami, Diddy's girlfriend.
This comes just over a week after homes owned by Diddy were raided in LA and Miami as part of a federal human trafficking investigation. Neither the attorneys for Combs or Diddy have commented on the new legal complaint.
To the public, it looked like a family drunk on privilege, tone-deaf, detached, untouchable. Back in November 2024, Christian made a move that left even Diddy supporters side-eyeing him. He took over his dad's Instagram account. He posted throwback music videos, old photos, vibes of the good old days. But critics called it what it really was, a PR stunt, one that backfired. Because while Cassie, Dawn Richard, and others were testifying about physical abuse and psychological torment, Christian was posting nostalgia reels. It was like putting glitter on a crime scene. The lawsuit details what happened after the yacht. Grace Omar says the trauma wrecked her mental health.
Cassie Ventura has officially wrapped up her testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking and racketeering trial after nearly 20 hours on the stand. Her account included graphic details of alleged abuse and coercion.
Panic attacks. eating disorders, even epileptic seizures. She was fired in 2023, her life upended. Meanwhile, Christian went on with his life, dropping music and selfies, barely acknowledging the storm around him. For Omar, the lawsuit isn't just about justice, it's about survival, and her story mirrors another woman in this trial. Omar's lawsuit doesn't just name Christian, it points fingers at Diddy too. Why? Because he chartered the yacht. Because he allegedly created a party culture where no didn't mean stop. It meant cover it up. Sound familiar? It should. Cassie said the same thing. So did Don Richard and Daniel Phillips. They describe a world where power meant silence, and silence was bought. This isn't an isolated incident. It's a pattern, a blueprint, a family model. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former music producer, took things further. He filed a separate lawsuit accusing Justin Combs of procuring underage girls for Diddy's infamous freak-offs. He says Justin knew exactly what these parties were for and helped set the stage. Again, it's a lawsuit, not a conviction. But the patterns, the eerie similarities between what's alleged against Diddy.
The defense, particularly today, pushed back with texts, audio, and claimed she was a willing participant in their so-called freak-offs. But that's not all. We even learned more today about what was inside Diddy's hotel room and heard striking testimony from Dawn Richard.
And what's now being said about his sons? That's hard to ignore. On May 17, 2025, Christian was caught outside court. When a bystander called him Young Diddy and told him his father would be cleared, Christian responded with two chilling words, "Yes, sir," then added, "They ain't talking about nothing in court." Really? Nothing? Cassie testifying about being abused with a skillet is nothing? Don Richard describing beatings in front of staff is nothing? This level of disconnect isn't just arrogance, it's learned behavior. It's denial dressed up as confidence. 18 brands, gone. Howard University revoked Diddy's honorary degree. New York demanded its symbolic key to the city back. And Christian? He's trying to build a music career under a name that's now radioactive. Crisis PR expert Molly McPherson said it plainly. The Diddy brand is now toxic. Anyone tied to it is too.
I think that the testimony that Don Richard gave and the defense really going in on some of the inconsistencies were the takeaway. So there were moments today where the defense was asking Don Richard, which, as you know, was a member of Danity Kane.
Christian is trying to rebrand himself as an artist, but the internet sees a legacy act drowning in lawsuits. Cassie described herself as feeling worthless and disgusting after being coerced into performances at Diddy's direction. She said she contemplated taking her own life. Omar describes panic attacks and seizures. These aren't characters in a drama. They're real women reliving their worst moments in front of the world. And Christian's response? They ain't talking about nothing. Diddy's legal team has an unusual strategy. They're admitting he was abusive, but they say that doesn't mean he was a criminal. They claim the freak-offs were consensual. But here's the problem. The law disagrees. Under RICO statutes, prosecutors say Diddy ran a criminal enterprise through his businesses, including Bad Boy Records. It's called a one-man RICO. And if proven, it means even associates like Christian could be implicated, whether or not they're formally charged. This trial is pulling Hollywood into the fire. Jay-Z, Stevie J. Cuba, Gooding Jr., Aaron Hall, Justin Combs, Odell Beckham Jr. Some are defendants, others are just names on a juror list. But the point is, it's not just about Diddy anymore. It's about the people around him, the enablers, the participants, the silent witnesses. And Christian Combs is no longer just a bystander. We've seen this story before. Famous man, powerful friends, victims dismissed for years. But now the silence is cracking. What used to be labeled hip-hop culture is now being exposed as something far darker. And as more lawsuits emerge, the music industry is being forced to confront the ugliest parts of its history.
Singer Don Richard testifies that Sean Diddy Combs hit Cassie Ventura with a skillet full of eggs. Danity Kane alum Don Richard, who began working with Sean Diddy Combs while competing on his show Making the Band in 2004, took the stand after Cassie wrapped her testimony May 16th.
Christian Combs had every opportunity to be different, to grow beyond his father's shadow, to learn from the damage. But if the allegations are true, he's already repeating the cycle. The parties, the arrogance, the disregard for victims. And if Diddy's convicted, Christian's lawsuit could be next, because what happens in that courtroom isn't just about one man. It's about what's been passed down, from father to son, from silence to headlines, from privilege to prosecution. What do you think? Is Christian just a casualty of his father's downfall, or is he part of the same darkness? Can he break the cycle, or is it already too late? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the scandals shaking Hollywood to its core. Because trust me, this is just the beginning.